little people in here. Queen Mecca is in here. They're allowing you to. Oh man, yeah. They're allowing you to speak. You got Smell Goods, SW, Darkim. You got Allah will manifest a lot. He asked me a little bit of question today. What I couldn't really understand what your question was that you asked in the comments a little bit earlier. I can free to be me. John King. Yeah, no doubt. Everybody do the each one teach one and hit the like button for me. Share it on your other pages, Facebook and Twitter and everything, because we have to get the word out for me manually. Sometimes they send out my notifications. Sometimes they don't. 793rd, Musadik. Just one was 40 acres in a mule, literal or symbolic. I think did I ask you? I think I asked you. Do you know the history of that? You know, like what do you mean? Knowledge of love. Yeah, I wanted to get into that too. I wanted to get into the science. What happened to the brother? The brother I saw in the news today that he's paralyzed from the waist down. You know, they hoping it might not be permanent, but yeah, the brother out there. What's his name? So Nala said yesterday it was pretty wild out there in Kenosha County. They closed off every exit from the highway into Kenosha County. Jacob Blake. And that was definitely rough. But what's going on with Allah will manifest? I'm gonna give you a couple more seconds because you're I don't want to end up too far down the rabbit hole from the beginning. So the brothers in Kenosha County is taking this event very seriously. I mean, they should. You know, like I was asking yesterday, how much more has to happen before, it's seen that, a change is going to have to be made. The change is not just going to come by osmosis. It's the green one, Waju. Well, when you say in terms of some kind of reparations, was 40 acres and a mule figurative when it first came out, when it was first spoken? Or do you mean if somebody says right now they want their 40 acres and a mule, is that figurative? So that's why I'm asking you, who said it? Because see, if a boxer says, I'm gonna hit you with the knockout punch, he really means that literally he's gonna hit you with a punch where the intention is to knock you out. But if somebody else, maybe a computer program, said I'm gonna hit you with the knockout punch, maybe they mean that they're gonna have the program, they're gonna have the software, they're gonna finish designing the software by a certain time. Okay, I asked you a question. It's funny when I ask you an either or question, you say yes. When I ask you a yes or no question, you talk for 10 minutes. True self. Yes to the latter. You took so long, I don't even recall what the latter is. Yeah, I was just saying that they said the brother's paralyzed from the waist down. They was hoping that it wasn't permanent, but yeah, at the moment right now, uh, that was, uh, the film of that was, that was one of the most vicious shootings that I've seen. Today they put out some other footage. They said that this footage showed him struggling with somebody, but it was too shaky for me to really, I guess you got to be, kind of trained in looking at film and seeing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't generally look at film. All right, I guess uh, Allah will manifest. He'll catch up later. But right now, mm, I was, I didn't, it didn't look like provocation to me either. Oh, so 793rd, you heard something that said he was reaching under the car seat? But I mean, if there was a weapon in the car, that would have been came out. That would have been, uh, that would have been the headline to the story. Man shot as he reaches under seat for gun. Yeah, hold on for a second. Whoa. What happened there? Let things get wild. But yeah, that was that's still a little bit crazy. But like I said, I'm already I think we could be pretty sure that if they found any kind of weapon or anything under the seat, that would have already came out. So I think that's going to be a pretty moot point. Yeah, but I mean, where did you see who reported that he was reaching under the seat? You got Calm Islam, We Real Hip Hop, L7, Magnetic. Who's reporting that he was reaching under the seat? Like I said, I saw something they put in the post today. Yeah, that's why I just came back from closing the door, man. Canceling all my cool air. And flies in here too. Universal 7. 793rd. Who's reporting that he was reaching under the seat though? I did see, like I said in the post, they put something. It was like a different camera from a different angle, but the person's hands were shaking so badly that I couldn't really tell what was going on. But it seems like most accounts were saying that he was there breaking up a fight. The camera angle showed him open the door, and then as soon as he opened the door, the cop grabbed him by the back of his shirt. Now, to me, it looked like he was leaning forward to, try to get away from this dude and get into the car. That's what I recall seeing when I saw it. But once you get hit 7 times and paralyzed, then yeah, you're going to end up on the floor. So Commons Lonely said they trying to say he had a knife now. All right, but where was the knife? See, we got to be careful with this stuff because see, that's the, I don't buy into these reports, the ones that we see or whatever, or the ones that we see is consistent. But in this day and time with all the different news organizations and all the different people, yeah, that's the camera angle that I saw at first too. Was the one on the driver's side. He seemed to be calmly. He seemed to be calmly walking to the car. It appeared he opened the door, and as soon as he opened the door, the cop grabbed him by the shirt. I mean, they can say all type of stuff, but the facts is the facts. So Commons Only said they showed a blurry pic that they are trying to pass off as him having a knife. Yeah, True Self is saying pretty much, he's saying what I seen, it attempted like he was, or it appeared that he was attempting to leave. And the cop shot him in the back 7 times. Plus the fact that he had the kids in the car, it appeared to be multiple reasons why that wasn't necessary. But what does that say, about the situation? In terms of, all the things that's going on. Like right now, if you could go to the scene, and if you could go to the scene in Kenosha, right? And, kind of school them on all the different things that you learn from all the other rebellions that's been happening, right? What would you tell them? it's too late for some things. They said, they already rioted, tore up a particular part of town. Now they said it was the black area, but I haven't been seeing it as much, on the scene coverage of any of it, as you saw it 2 months ago. So 793rd said first he saw him go to the passenger side, then walk past them to the driver's side. I mean, in these things, a lot of times, especially when, we don't have as many words. Like, see, for instance, the brother that got shot in the parking lot, we had a lot of words. You know what I'm saying? You had a whole conversation. You had the lady that worked in Wendy's that spoke to him beforehand and everything. So, it was a lot more context. You know what I'm saying? But, him having his kids in the car, right? I'm thinking maybe he looked in there to make sure his kids was all right. Maybe he looked in there and saw his kids was crying and said, yo, man, let me get out of here. But you're right in terms of there being no closure on the other cases, but that's exactly my point that I'm making. Or that's the question that I'm asking. Now, Zara said, to keep it 100, Kenosha got way more white folks than they do black people, so I don't know about them tearing up the black part. You probably can count on your hand how many black tops you will see in Kenosha County. It is not. 1 2 1 2 1 2. You haven't been looking at the news, God, Cypher Devon? Going on with all this feedback here. Oh, no black cops in Kenosha. You never seen black cops in Kenosha, and you work over there. So the guy is saying he got experience with that county, and you rarely see any black cops out there. Now I didn't see that particular video. 1 2. Can y'all hear me? All right. Yeah, I didn't see that particular video, True Self, but I've seen some crazy videos. You know what I'm saying? In terms of uh, things that's happened with white suspects. You said, when is the devil's rule up? For those that's fallen victim to the injustices, to the systemic oppression of blacks in North America. Well, their time is not up until we wisdom our power. Hold on one second. Let me get this situated. Yeah, let's see if that works better, man. Fly phrase from the Providence Plantations. Seven said we got to make it our business to step in for our brothers and sisters when we see injustice. It's still, we still got to look at this thing from the standpoint of, kind of prevention. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, it's good to be brave and all of that. And, if you see something going wrong, for you to defend, the weak or the people or however you want to see it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that's always great. But, it's also a matter of, these things happening, repeatedly and on a scale where, when do we manifest a world where these things don't exist? You know what I'm saying? Or at least exist on, we can, to a point where we can say, well, yeah, these are accidents. That wasn't really an accident. That wasn't an accident. Right? You said we need to be taught how to prevent these situations. And that's an interesting statement that you made right there. When you said we need to be taught how to prevent these situations, you mean we as in who? L7 said more times than not, the police are provoking these situations. That's interesting too. All right, now, and this is quite a statement coming from you, This is quite a statement coming from you, real hip hop. You about to head to Kenosha right now? Knowledge. Yeah, I guess you got to call in and see about that. But yeah, this is an interesting statement coming from you, original hip hop. Where you say here, original people need to be taught how to interact with the police. Now, the way I hear that, anytime you hear whatever you hear, it translates to a certain idea that it gives you in your mind. So I'm not saying that you're saying this, but this is what I hear when I hear original people need to be taught how to interact with police. See, what I hear is, why don't y'all be better slaves? You need to be taught how to be a better slave. You need to be taught how to stay in your place on the plantation. See, it's not something that I gotta learn. It's something that must be done. L7 said we would have to prevent these cops from being hired. That would be the prevention method. I mean, when you hear SW, that appears to be working, at least to some degree in Newark. Knowledge of us and our cipher. Nobody needs to be taught how to talk to people that look just like you. Are they the police? Have a certain element of superiority in their mentality when they approach you. That's where it starts. God Cyphers of Honor said we've been taught how to interact with authority figures since Willie Lynch. Eyes low and be submissive. But see, that's the type of thing that's happened, on a whole level. You know what I'm saying? Where, the brother that they elected to be the mayor, he got those type of values. You understand what I'm saying? And those type of principles in order to pass those type of policies for that to be the reality. But that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? That's one method right there. The other method, of course, you hear them talking about all the time in the news right now is defunding the police. But what would you say about that statement, though, real hip hop? When I tell you that sounds, like we should be better slaves. And it's not. This is not the first time. That's generally the way I see it. Whenever they talk about the conversation that black parents have to have with black kids. You basically have to, have a conversation to formally introduce them to, the slave master and the overseer, and how you should behave when you are out in the open part of the farm where they can see. God's having the mindset, if you want to teach original people anything, is know the law and their rights. I mean, can we really say that, the law is not pertaining to us? The police not killing people, that's already the law. Really, anybody not killing anybody, that's already the law. You know what I'm saying? And if, we had something to really resemble rights and say it's rights, you know what I'm saying, with peace.
How you doing, brother? My name is Madison. Yeah, I was trying to ask questions. I used to build the brothers back in the day. I'm from St. Mary's, probably on Jackson. 152, 156. So I had some brothers named Darkim. It's been a minute. I'm kind of nervous. It's been a minute. I'm trying to get back into myself. So I have my cousins, I had a few uncles into it. So basically, they had me in it when I was young, like 15, 16. So I'm trying to get back into it. I'm trying to rebuild myself. And it was a book that they had. It was a yellow cover. Had the 5 cents, had the symbol on it. It was a man on it. It was a yellow cover. It had like the 1 through 20s, the 1 through 10s. It broke everything down. Or like a beginning manual for you to get into it. I forgot the name of it though. I just seen it looking at a Netflix documentary.
Yeah, that's probably something that's is that
actually I was watching the Wu-Tang joint on Netflix and it popped up the cover. So I was like, yo, I ain't read that book in years, because that's when I started reading Behold a Pale Horse and all that. That's when I had got them type of books at that time. I was like 15, 16.
All right. So that sounds like is that Melchizedek's book? I'm on the live stream.
Oh, down here on my phone, brother.
Nah, I saw it. You gotta sit down.
I had my wife, so I said I have a couple of minutes.
All right. But just in general with that book, with anything you see that's kind of in a commercial forum, that ain't come from us. You know what I mean? Not in relation to just the basic lessons.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because, the first thing is, this is for children. You know what I mean? Like you said, you got exposed to it at 14, 15. So it's not, all of the kind of extra hoops that you might have to jump through, all of that's stripped down. You see what I'm saying? So, when you come into this, you pay attention, and, like you're seeing right now, when you having to come, you know what I'm saying, that you get out of it what you put into it. You see what I'm saying? When you was putting a lot into it, you was getting something out of it.
I got lost, you know what I'm saying? But I know about it. That was the foundation. Like all the cars used to come to my block. And they used to sit for hours. That's when I was hustling. I used to sit there and listen to that shit. Like, why you being a knucklehead for? Build yourself. And like the 1 through 10s, the 1 through 20s, that shit was building me though. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like how the brother greeted me today. I felt kind of funny. He was like, my name is such and such. He broke himself down. And he was like, yeah, I need that again, because I'm kind of lost. Like, I'm breaking down right now because I'm going through some shit in life. But I know I need that direction to turn me back.
Yeah, see, that's what happens. See, most of our condition that we exist in right now is because of lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And the most important aspect, the most important thing for you to know about is yourself. You see what I'm saying? And then you can start to draw up your relationship to everything that's around you and all the different situations and circumstances that you're in.
Myself, like, what the fuck going on? Time out, I know it all. Time out, I didn't know it. And then I deal with a woman, she like, you God, what's wrong with you?
And see, look, you gotta be centered on that all the time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, look, if you walk in a building and you got a job in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only way for you to know what to wear when you go to work, you gotta know who you are.
Exactly.
On the job. You know what I'm saying? Like if you a janitor, you're gonna dress one way.
Mm-hmm.
If you the CEO, you're gonna dress another way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the type of treatment that you ready to accept, it's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Like if you the janitor and somebody say, yo, somebody made a mess down there, you're gonna be like, yo, thanks for telling me. And then you're gonna go handle what you gotta handle. Right. But if you the CEO and they tell you there's a mess down there, you're gonna say, all right, you should tell
the janitor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, don't.
Why you telling me for?
Yeah, you understand what I mean? So it's the same thing, just like if you out here in the atmosphere, you know what I mean? And, you got some people that still got a slave mentality from the 1800s.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or, you might have the thug mentality, you know what I'm saying? It's all different mentalities that you have, how you see yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, now they got young brothers that call themselves savages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so
a little different now.
Yeah, and so that's how they behave based on it.
So it'd be like, I'm breaking down. So I know at the time in my life, it's like I'm sitting here like, going through my own shit. Like, I need to get back into myself. So I was like, let me come here and see if I can get some information, like to build, like it was real. Like when I was young, when they was hitting me with the knowledge, it was like they was on me consistent. Like, yo, you what? Mm-hmm. I called myself Mel Kim at the time, so it was like, you what? It was on my neck, and I was able to say who I was. You know what I'm saying? But I got lost, you know what I'm saying? I broke off, I moved away from the hood. I dibbled and dabbled in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Got locked up, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got guards, you got Muslims in jail, and it'd be like, sometimes it'd be beaten, and and jail is a different world, so sometimes you get good knowledge, and sometimes you don't get good knowledge. So sometimes you be like forced to just sit back and be like this.
Indeed. You know what I'm saying? But, that's the main thing, the first thing, you gotta get back into, man, is mastering yourself and mastering your surroundings. You know what I mean? And one of the, because see, it shows you a lot. You know what I mean about what your mind power is. You know what I'm saying? And what the power to control yourself and control your surroundings is. You know what I mean? So in order to do that. I don't know if you got a chance to do that the first time brothers introduce you to the knowledge, but you got to fast 3 days.
I got to move fast 3 days.
Yeah.
Eat nothing.
Yeah, just water.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And then see, that's a good time, whatever books you got and all that, you know what I mean? Deal with reading to see one thing that happens when you do that, right? Just physically, your body has a direct attention. It's got a direct nutrients and blood flow and all of that to wherever you have an activity. So if you're lifting weights, then it flows to your muscles. You know what I'm saying? And if you're eating food, then it got to flow to your stomach and your intestines and everything to in order for your body to digest.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you stay calm, you fasting, you know what I'm saying? You reading and things of that nature. Now all the blood can go to your brain. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you start to see things clearly that you might not have seen clearly before. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I said, just throughout the time as you making your own observations, of the body, because you got how to eat to live and how to live to eat.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Juice bar, we doing that.
Right. So, and just like you observe the difference, you know what I'm saying, and how you feel when you get some juice from the juice bar as opposed to if you eat a hero or something. You understand what I'm saying?
And all that.
Yeah, all of that's just those is levels of.
Try to go like that.
Those is,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, those is levels of having knowledge of self.
What books can I read right now? Like you say, fast in 3 days. I mean, I got 48 Laws of Power. I got books like that, but like sometimes that's like.
Yeah, 48
That's
Laws
like
of
manipulation power type of book stuff.
Yeah, that's you know, you
that's
want
a
to
different
read
type of time.
You want to read stuff that's you know, on a little bit higher plane. You know, like that right there, that's things that, you know, can happen within the realm of 6.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the stuff when you read a book like 48 Laws of Power. You know what I'm saying? But
that's why I don't want to read though. I need some other books to read. That's why I came here to ask, like, what can I like be able to build my knowledge back up, like dealing with this, so I can know what it really is like. You know what I'm saying?
You got any Elijah Muhammad books?
I had 1 or 2, but I was locked up. I was into it here and there, but you know.
What about history books?
Like what?
Like you know, any books by like John Heinrich Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, Sheikh Anta Diop, Ben Yochanan.
I heard of him.
Yeah, those is, you know, the type of authors where you, like you said, they
you directly.
They give you the history. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because a lot of times that's why we get caught up in this atmosphere, because, you know, even within our family, we don't have much more history.
Exactly.
Like, you might just know your family is from down south or whatever, but beyond that, you don't really know who you was in order to know who you get.
You know what type of king you was, you know what I'm saying? You know what type of ancestry you come from. And then my last name is Woodall, so it's like I come from an old slave name. Woodall is an old slave name. I already Google my shit. I just see Caucasians all through my shit. And I'm like, damn, I'm a Woodall. I'm like, yo, where the fuck, who am I really? That's how I be lost sometimes. That's what I was trying to think about. Because at that time, at the young age, 14, you be lost sometimes. Yeah. And then you find out who your name is. My father's Brown. My mom's is Woodall. So I'm like, Woodall, what the fuck?
And see, that's what you gotta realize, that, you know, it's just like it's like if you thinking about just your neighborhood, right? Like just around St. Mary's, you know, it's just the projects right here. It's easy to get yourself oriented to know where you at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you're supposed to get.
But you gotta remember.
But it's broader than that.
Yeah, we talking about the whole universe. You gotta find yourself in. So without having no idea of what direction you came from, you understand what I'm saying? It's easy to lose direction.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's people that drown, right? Because they get disoriented and swim down. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Instead of swimming towards the surface,
they go down.
They swim into the deeper water. And then by the time they realize it, they ain't got enough air to get back to the top.
Yeah, that's how I be feeling with me sometimes, yo. Like, and it's like, yo, it's just like family, relationship, jail. Like, a lot of shit is happening. And I'm 40. So, at 40, I be like, yo, you're supposed to be stabilized. Have this, have that, have that. Most of my 20s, I was in jail. So, I lost a lot of shit. So, now coming back out here, trying to build it up, relationships, baby mothers, girl, it be like, yo, it just be a build up. And I just blow the fuck up. So, it's like, I'm trying to really like get back so I can just start putting all that shit in one basket and be like, yo, just get back with me so I know how to perceive certain things different and say things different. Like, I want people to understand when I speak, you hear me. It's not just, I hear you. I want you to understand me and be like, oh, I understand where you're coming from. It's not, oh, yo, I hear you. You don't know what you're saying. You don't got knowledge yourself because you don't know yourself. So you can't talk to me and you don't know yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the things, you know what I'm saying? You know, but, you know, you got to remember that, see, even at your age, right, this is the difference between when you was learning then and coming back into it now, right? Is that, you know, like when we come into the knowledge, you learn about who is the original man. That's talking about everybody.
Right. They used to drill me with that.
But see, as time go on, right, you learn more and more about how that applies to you specifically. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at 15, 16, a lot of things, you know, you're not even locked in yet on, you know, what exactly you like. It's certain things you ain't even experienced yet to say, yo, nah, I'd rather it the other way. You understand what I'm saying? But the more you go on throughout life, you understand what I'm saying? Like, at 15, you haven't really made that much.
Right,
to really, yeah, you understand what I mean? But then now, you come to a point where,
this is how it is, and then I'm still learning.
Yeah, but you don't never want to do that. Once you get to the point where you stop learning, you might as well just dig a hole.
Hang it up.
Just dig a hole, jump in.
Yeah, I be like, my buggies, I still keep drilling. I be like, yo, what's wrong? Like, why I keep drilling, trying to figure, like, my purpose is to figure this shit out. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm just trying to maintain this shit. That's all. I just don't want to drive my wife crazy. She's like, yeah, you need to go back into that shit. Get back into yourself. You're a king. You're a black man. You're God, right? That's what you get back into. Read the books that you need to do to drill yourself back into. You got 2 kids. You got 2 boys. So definitely I got to be on them niggas.
And see, that's when it becomes, ultra important. You know what I'm saying? When you got the young, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to mislead my kids.
Yeah, right.
I don't want them to go through what I've been through. Like,
right.
This is what this is. That's not what it really is now at 40. I don't want to lie.
What I'm saying?
I ain't want to tell, like, I'm my kid, Santa Claus, all this other stuff, holidays. Like, all that shit fake, bro.
Yeah. See, all that, that's the building blocks. Yeah.
I'm coming right now. My fault. But yeah.
You gotta remember that. Look, whatever you give
have
them
a podcast, I can follow you.
Yeah, this is on YouTube right here. I'm Darkim, AllahChrist. You see, one thing you gotta remember is whatever you give them now is the building blocks of what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and I don't
so like you said, if you start teaching them about it's Easter and Christmas and all of this stuff,
right,
then when they get older, it make it easier for them to fall for all types of
type your name inside.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't believe, like, once I learned how it is me growing up, and now I see what it is in my kids, like, I let them get it right now, but they're not able to understand that.
Nah, you can't.
I don't want to, like, should I tell them now? Like,
I mean, you ain't got to go deep into it, you know what I'm saying? But, with everything, all you got to do is tell people the reality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, see, eventually everybody's going to see, but there's something psychologically about that where you teaching them that there's certain circumstances where you could lie. You know what I'm saying? Because you lying to them.
I'm lying to them, so then they gonna get mad at me. Like, then when they find out, they're gonna be like, you told me about saying he don't come down on the chimney.
You understand what I'm saying?
Don't plant those holidays.
Yeah, and so either they gotta that, or they just realize that it's okay to BS yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. Either way, that planting that seed of illusion in their mind, right, is the building blocks of them going on to believe in all other types of mysteries. Just like if you plant the building blocks, if you show them how to count, you show them how to add, you show them the alphabet and stuff, it's the building blocks of when they get to school, they'll do better in it. You see what I'm saying? Because they already learned that. And then also the type of bond in the relationship now, when they know you as the person who taught them mathematics and alphabet, right? As opposed to the person who taught them Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, all of that's the building blocks of your relationship too, of how you gonna be able to build with them about things that they going through. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, okay, I know he don't be BSing.
Right.
He never taught me BS that the other kids had to believe. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you're right. Peace, brother.
Peace,
I appreciate you. I'm gonna deal with you again. So,
no.
Be here on the time.
Well, my class is on Mondays at 6 and Tuesdays at 7. But yeah, I'm around, but you know what I'm saying? Peace. Okay, let's catch back up over here. Minoko Rashidi. What is that? Oh, y'all been going in. You got West Coast Wise. Oh yeah, this okay, now listen. I think I'm a new rule. New rule. It's a new rule for everyone. If you ask me a question about a degree, you got to be within 5 degrees of that degree. Don't be in the 1 and 14 asking me about the wisdom build degree in the 1 and 40. Because see, the issue is there's things between the 1 and 14 and the wisdom build degree and the 1 and 40 that's going to give you your answer. Because you're turning me into the priest. Well, you might as well walk in on that side and act like I don't see you, and then tell me whatever you're gonna confess or something. I don't hear that. You can study it yourself. You ask me a question, you got to be within 5 degrees of that degree. Like, what are you even thinking about that for? You listen. There's some people. I don't care what you say. I don't care how smart you think you are. You are picking the hardest possible way of coming to an understanding of these degrees. You're picking the hardest possible way. I know what Allah didn't give mine in order. Listen, there, there's things that was instituted by Allah, and there was things that was instituted by the gods that we put our wise minds together, and this is what we came up with. Like I'm not just I'm not just how that dude say I'm not just the president. I'm also a client. I'm not sending you on a mission that I didn't complete. I'm not sending you the long way around to tell you now, look, study lessons 1 by 1. When I really skip 5 by 5. Figure out everything about the degree you want. See you in the 1 to 14. Those rules and regulations apply to in there. Do you know all of those? Did you hit the born degree in the 1 to 14 yet? What about the rules and regulations that we make the devil go according to in order to call himself a Muslim son? Worry about those rules and regulations. Because you wouldn't know which ones is mentioned in that lesson or not, because you don't know the lesson. I can just tell you, no pineapple soda. Even though I think Born Mastermind has already instituted that rule, but don't tell Born Mastermind I use this rule. But yeah, my bad for that little rant right there. But everyone needs to cut that out. You on the wisdom build degree and the 1 to 40. Calm Islami. See, Calm Islami is showing you how this thing is done, man. That's what I keep saying, man. We've been on here long enough, man, where everybody should know 120. See, I got y'all didn't absorb Queen Mecca into your side rally. I see. That's how this thing is, huh? They got you they got you caught up with them, Queen Mecca. Why would you say that about South Carolina, Queen Mecca? Yeah, Renoko Rashidi. Who's Renoko? I heard that name before, but I can't place it right now. What's the Guthrie science? Yeah, wait, what is this? The 16 crucified Christ. I'm not amongst them, am I must be the 17th thing or something. What gives with that? I never heard of them. Oh, Guthrie was the one that wrote Making of a White Man. You talking about the Paul Guthrie, the guy that writes about Ford? Yeah, John God came in. Yeah, Queen Mecca got quite a little what's her name? Now listen, before we get into this, let's say, let me do my little disclaimer here that this is a Hotep channel. But what's going on with Queen of Food? Like it appears that she's some kind of I can't, but she's like the Beyonce of consciousness or something. What's going on with Queen Afua? Or is it me? To my knowledge, Marcus Garvey, I'm not sure where he got deported to, but I know he returned to the Essence in England. Thomas Romney said he got a question. Go ahead and ask that. But yeah, just all hotepness included. What's the deal with Queen Afua? Like I don't. She appears to have like a whole, like she's got a vice grip on the mental power of women. Did I miss something? Someone drop a jewel on me. Okay, Okay, Queen Medina came in. Maybe Queen Medina, can you answer that? Who is what is the deal with Queen Afua? So she makes WAP crystals and dietary books. That's what I'm saying. What? What? I don't understand. Like, is she like the female Malcolm X or something? Like, is she the all roads appear to lead back to Queen Afua right now. 793rd said Rashidi traced agents back to Africa and remembers Surya as having an issue going back and forth with him based on a particular basis of his understanding or lack thereof. Oh, so Rashidi Renoko is he's alive right now. Now this born came in. What is this Blue John? I've been noticing y'all say that for a while. Who's Blue John? So you say she's a Queen Afua is okay for the physical. Like what does she do for the physical? I don't. Yeah, SW. That's what I'm saying. It's women seem to just love Queen Afua. Cause like, you know how what's my man's name? The King Kong of consciousness. She's like the Beyonce of consciousness or something. And she's the female Dr. Sadie. Yeah, I would say yeah, she's pretty much the female Sadie. In the Wisdom Degree 114, it says Musa civilized the devil in the year 11,000, but the Wisdom Equality Degree in the 140, it says Musa was born in the year 11,000. See, born means to be complete. You know what I'm saying? And to be complete, because you gotta remember when you're dealing with Musa and you're dealing with Yaqub, you know what I'm saying? Or really when you're dealing with everybody in the lessons, you're dealing with people that was predicted in the year one. So in order for them to be complete, they had to live out what they was predicted of. You see what I'm saying? So just like it tells you, Yaqub was born in the year 8,400. Yaqub was actually born in the year 8,367. You understand what I'm saying? $8,400 is when him and his followers went to Patmos. You know what I'm saying? And he completed that thought. You know, so it would be the same thing with Musa. Musa was born in 10,920. Or should I say birthed in the year 10,920. That might make it more clear. 793rd says, so the queens of our nation think of all these queens popping up in their perspective. I mean, I don't know. Or Bujan is 793rd. Oh. Now you're not doing the math wrong, Carmen Lonely. You know, you just gotta realize that that's the code. That's the code that 120 is written in. You know what I'm saying? That when it tells you that somebody was born at a certain time, and the lessons is telling you that's when they completed the thought that was predicted of them in the year 1. So Queen Medina said Queen Afu is on the goddess part and godless thing. And, you know, that is one of the first things that, you know, from the time I first, you know, I heard of it, it was just, you know, I knew it wasn't for me, of course, but I just, you know, I mean, I really, you know, right now, I think it's pretty much, you know, like you got Beyonce is up here, and then Queen Afu and Cardi B is like right here battling for supremacy right behind Beyonce. I Be Infinite came in, peace, peace, wise son. Right, if you subtract 33 from if you subtract 33 from 8,400, yeah, that's what it gives you, 8,367. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's also telling you about when Yaqub was 6 years old. So, Amina did more videos besides the first one she did with Emret. You said L. John Bourne was Queen Afua's god. Who's L. John Bourne? L. John Bourne. Wait, she used to be. She's a 5%. Queen Afua. Let me find out. The Beyonce of consciousness. L. John Bourne, he makes the shirts. Where you from? I know you're not talking about Alam Jad. You talking about Alam Jad? Where's he from? Her daughter Hadia Burrell. I mean, should I know Hadia Burrell? So yeah, but you see her name pop up on feeds, but you see her name pop up on feeds, but is it the same videos or is it new videos? What's the because you know there's a lot of things that I'm used to just, you know, I let it pass. I don't, you know, I don't even. Who's Wendy Williams and Erica Badu stylist? Yeah, Supernova Slum. I've heard about him being affiliated with her. But I mean, I don't. Like I'm saying, different people got claims to fame. You know what I'm saying? Like Malcolm X was a great orator. You know what I'm saying? What's her thing that she does? WebMD says Queen Afua is a Kemetic princess. She made it to WebMD. I mean, a Kemetic priestess. She deal with ankle bracelet signs. I don't get it. But I'm saying, where did you say Alam Jad? El Jam born is? Like, is he somebody that comes to the rally? Like, I know him. Who's that? He an older guy. I mean, I would assume so. If but you don't know where he's from. They say, who's El Jam born? All right. I'm trying to see. I mean, I'm looking at a picture right now. I don't particularly recall seeing her at a rally or nothing. It's wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Alam Jad? You talking about the light skinned brother? Alam Jad? Light skinned brother from the P-Long. Alam Jad. He moved to the Caribbean for a minute. And he used to write the paper. I'm not sure which one he had. Did he have the 5%? Yeah, I think he was the 5%. Back in the days, like, get out of here. Get out of here. Alam Jad? I don't know. I think I gotta put that. I think I might have to put that on what'd you say, God.com? That's a website? Nah, I don't see it. Yo, that is crazy though. Alarm job. Well, well, well. She was young in the nation. How young? Ten or 11. Oh, maybe that's what it is. And how old she is now? 18. Yeah, nah, who's 'Feedback today. One, two. Wait. I wonder if that's what it is. Oh. One, two. Can you hear me now? She said you saw pictures of her in 3/4, and she was a young moon. She is so pretty. I love her until she went on the college tip. She 40-ish. I don't know. See, there's a little bit of Beyonce effect right there too. Um, nah, I ain't never. So if she's, so you saying that would have been around uh 80? What we talking about? 9 years. So we talking about 90, 91. You talking about you talking about this got to be like 90, 91. You seen her, and that's when she was a young queen. The late 80s. So we talking about during my time. Nah, I don't recall it. But she looks like she's done well for herself though. Shout out to the God of Four. Are you sure she's free cipher though? She might be a little over free cipher. Of course, that's not very hotep. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to tell a woman's age. But nah. I just looked it up. She ain't no 40-ish. She's like 60-ish. You know, of course, that may or may not reflect. That may or may not reflect the views of the Random Jewish channel. I mean, that would have been the first thing I would have thought of. You know, when you say alarm jive, I know alarm jive. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, wait a minute, that's a little bit 40-ish. Yeah, right. But these dudes right here, they not related to alarm jive, are they? Queen Medina says, so you can't be earth and rock weave? Where did that come from? Yeah, that was the first thing I thought about too. Waju, I thought maybe I thought the Islam guy was older than he looked, but yeah, that's what kind of where's that question come from? And then you're gonna bring weave into a conversation on the Hotep channel? Beyonce, um, so you saying could Beyonce be the Earth? Is that is Beyonce the Earth? Uh, I mean, she's Jay-Z's Earth. You know, we got Love Came In, Manola Music and Films coming from ATL. You know, uh, she's where Jay-Z chose to um, he chose to predict his history and live his history out. Um, but now this is for me personally. You know, is she the Earth? Did anybody ever notice that? Or maybe your lessons don't go like that. See, in my lessons, the only one that says the is the earth. Your lessons don't go like that? He said beyond, you know, now she's not the earth. She got a baby by what God? I'm saying, like I said, that's his earth. Like, see, my old earth, you know what I'm saying? My pops ain't had the knowledge. He didn't have proper knowledge of himself. Now, the potential, of course, had to exist within him. You understand what I mean? In order for him to produce me. But, that's within our cipher, right? Within our cipher, she's the earth. But she's not the earth. Jay-Z is God. What is this? What is this manner of poppycock you're speaking here? Jay-Z. When did Jay-Z become God? We got the wordsmith. Yeah, when did Jay-Z like is he a card carrying member of the 5%? Muslim God by association. You got the wordsmith said he got some Jews for us. Let's see what the wordsmith, because yeah, we definitely out. We definitely off on a couple of tangents today. Jay-Z, he rocks the flag, yeah, but these people do these things now because they in Hollywood. You know, uh, you know, SW says some people dress up like Elvis. It don't make them Elvis. And pretty much that's what he did. He's like he's a cosplay 5%er. The Rock Nation of Islam. Yeah, that's no affiliation with us. Love said there's no such thing as an honorary medical doctor. Yeah, you know about the cosplay 5%. We haven't talked about the cosplay 5% in a little while. L7 said Beyonce's nature is to be the earth, just like it's the black man's, just like it's the black man's nature to be God. I'll be infinite said I don't see him as God. Plus the flag he had, he gave away to Jay Electronica. But in terms of that, nah, she's not. I mean, I see her leaning towards certain things. You know what I'm saying? I see her leaning towards, putting some knowledge in her records. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really follow Beyonce. I don't really know her like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know whether it's and Jay-Z too for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like revelation that they came to, you know what I'm saying, recently, maybe they took a trip somewhere and seen the truth in a different kind of light or something, you know what I'm saying? But uh, when it's kind of like the boy that cried wolf, you know what I'm saying? When you do so many things for commercial gain, and then there's still some commercial gain to the information that they've been putting in their records, uh it's hard to say, whether they sincere about that. I mean, here we got the wordsmith and knowledge Allah in the
Peace.
Peace to the gods.
peace.
Peace to the God. Yeah, so can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so basically the degree it was pertaining to the wisdom build degree. So the wisdom build degree, what were Yaku's first rules, regulations, including all laws enforced on manufacturing the devil. So okay, it talks about I'm just keying on a couple of words. Healthy. So if you look at the word healthy, it's heal thy, like thy, heal thy, healthy. Um,
Man.
and also, doctors. Doctors are also daughters. Like doctors, daughters. Also, um, cremators is cremators, like cream maters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so I just, I kind of that's
Let-
pretty
let-
much some
you-
of those key words.
how long does it take you to come up with these?
It just came up with off the top just yesterday.
You just listen. That's how stuff be coming to me too.
Now I just look at the lesson, I look at the degree, and I'll just read it super slow. I just like look at it like what were Yaku's first rules and regulations, including and see what I could pull from it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I do it.
Yeah, that's I tell you, man, listen, I can't even. Uh, Most of the time, that stuff don't dawn, so it don't dawn on me.
It dawned on me. I might be in traffic somewhere. It just hit me.
This
Yep.
audio is kind of low. Let me try to turn this thing up.
Yep. I don't know. My volume might be a little low.
Nah, I got it. I can hear you better now. Can you still hear me?
Seem like you got lower.
Yeah.
Cause I thought mine was low because I'm on my iPad.
Yeah, it's probably because I put the headphones in. Yeah, I can hear Darkim low, but I could barely hear you at all. But yeah, I really didn't want to talk too much anyway. This Darkim show, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
I
just
like
I,
just
I
doing the
was
knowledge,
just
what the
I
brother
was
be
just trying
saying.
to add on.
I just be doing the knowledge. I just wanted to drop a couple jewels and then, what I mean, disappear like fart on them.
Right. Yeah, I can't even hear the God now.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It's better now. I got it turned up.
Yeah.
There we go.
Alright. Yeah, but what's going on out there in Kenosha?
Man, it ain't looking good. It look about the same way as with George Floyd. You got all these people came in town all of a sudden. you know, because the lawyer for Breonna, he down here, and a couple other activists type, you know.
Who is that? The Crump guy?
The guy with the bald head. I don't know his name. He spoke at the funeral for brother Floyd. Him.
Is it
he
Benjamin Crump?
I'm not sure his name, God. I'm not
I
sure.
don't like that guy.
Yeah, he's a black dude with a bald head. He kind of tall, slim.
Yo, it's just something. It's just something that just seems, you know, like I don't see what his whole thing is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you there, you know, clearly for the lawsuit or whatever, but you know, I don't understand really what his point is in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's like a kind of like a less religious Al Sharpton.
Yeah. That's the vibe I get off of him. He let the family talk, you know, and you know, his sisters and stuff like that was out there talking. Because I think the brother he had a twin sister, so they let her talk. You know how how that is. So I woke up kind of to it. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the briefing. I think it was around like maybe 1 o'clock or something. But they still got all that whole area just like, you know, zoomed off and taped off. And, you know, you can't even, you know, I got to go down there. You know, I'm finna leave out in probably like 30 minutes. I got to go down there. And it's like, man, I got to reroute myself 30 extra minutes to get to work. And then work 30 extra minutes to get to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going to be able to just get in and out of there, you know? Because there's only so many ways into Kenosha. They got 5, 6 exits, right? They got 6 exits blocked off. So if I go around the back way to get in there, that's an extra 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying?
What's the kind of like size and the makeup of Kenosha?
Kenosha is small. Okay, Kenosha probably is the size of shit. It's smaller than Racine. And Racine is way smaller than Milwaukee. See, we bought the biggest. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee probably the biggest in Wisconsin as far as like city-wise. Then you got Green Bay, you know what I'm saying? You know, Oshkosh, Appleton, you know, Fond du Lac, you know, shit like that. But as far as like down there, Kenosha is that's the last place you hit, and then you're going into Illinois. They by the border, you know what I'm saying? They at the border. So when you coming out of Illinois, the first county you hit coming into Wisconsin is Kenosha. Then Racine. See what I'm saying? Then you chopping on up to, you know, then you get Oak Creek. And then you coming into, you know, Milwaukee.
And so it's like a suburban type place or a rural type
place?
It's
very rural. It's very rural until you get up in there. Then they got their little blocks and, you know what I mean? You know, they got the little city structure a little. It's not major down there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing major, but it you know, they got their format set up and whatnot, you know. Yeah, it's and the thing about it is, you know, like I said, like not even a month ago, they enforced a curfew on them. I think it was right after that George Floyd stuff. I seen like 50 military transport mobilizing units. You know what I'm saying? They pulled right in the truck stop, did they circle, did they formation, and you know they got 50 cows out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they ride. It was, you know, nothing. You know. Yeah. This was a month ago, so they was already kind of setting up that little territory, if you will, you know, around there. The way I looked at it, because of when I seen the military guys down there, I'm like, what is they doing?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really nothing going on that way. Everything was going on up by us. You know, we was doing all the, you know, the riding. They wasn't really doing anything down there.
Wasn't it something that just happened recently?
This just happened, what, yesterday when the brother got shot.
Because I seen something on there. I seen some shit on there.
Yeah, I woke up to, I work third shift, so, you know, I wake up to a lot of this, you know, and it's like, whoa. And I was wondering why the exits was closed. And that's why they enforced the curfew on them at 8 o'clock. I think it was 8 or 9 o'clock last night.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that jump off when I remember when I saw it. I first saw just the headline, and I didn't even want to click on the video at first. You know what I'm saying? It was like as soon as I seen the headline, I was like, ah man, not again. But then when I saw the video, it was like, ah man, this is ridiculous, man.
Right. It's the same thing all over again.
But you were saying they don't really have. So what they've been saying so far that it's local people or it's people that's coming from outside.
That's all local that's going on down there, cause well, you would have. I put it like this: it could be local, and then maybe some people from Racine, because them two counties are so close. You know, they very close. I mean, it's like, you know, Brooklyn and Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? They're that close. So, you know, it's nothing for you to walk over that line and you in, you know, Manhattan, you know, and you walk over that line, you in Brooklyn. So, yeah, it's the same down there. You go down one back road and cut up another one, now you in Kenosha. You cut up another back road, now you back in Racine. You cut up another one, now you in Oak Creek. You cut up another one, now you back in Milwaukee. So, you know, yeah, it's just.
And where was the other brother was there too, right? The Castile brother?
No, Philando was up there in that was Minneapolis. Philando Castile.
Oh, that was Minneapolis, right.
Yeah. Cause I called a homie like right after that happened. I'm like, man, what's going on up that way? He like, a whole bunch of nothing. Yep. And pretty much it was the same way, you know, except his was a little bit more aggressive, I think. You know, it's more one-on-one, and then, you know, it's not like the police wasn't looking at him in the car with his kid in the back, you know. And then you asking him a question, and then he doing what you tell him to do, and then you still deliver the.
Yeah, that was vicious. The way they grabbed his T-shirt, you know, that was like, you know, that was an execution right there. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't something like you know. It you know, it didn't happen that fast or nothing. It wasn't like, you know,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you did that in slow motion, man.
It's almost made to be seem like you wanted everybody to notice it.
But yeah, you know, I was just wondering like what kind of you know, change. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at any one of these situations, you know what I'm saying, you know, not a lot has changed.
No, and it seemed like you go down the same. I mean, it's about all that talking too. Sometimes, you know, they be doing a lot of talking. You know.
Yeah.
And not
this time, you know, I thought this year, like I was saying yesterday, though, I thought it was just gonna be, you know, it almost seemed like we've reached the point of having enough experience, you know, with these situations that, you know, we would know, you know, better what we need to do in this type of situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, like SW is saying, you know, we back to the same old things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then they
even when they say they banned the chokehold, it's like, you know, it's still you know, like with it's still it's see, it comes down to what I always say, that the system is working perfectly. See, it's just like when capitalism crash and a whole bunch of people lose their money, that's not really you know, that's not a crisis.
Right.
You know, it's not really something. That's just the way capitalism works. And yeah, it may go
I'm
into
finna
that.
get over here. Hey, I'm finna get over here, man. It's getting hot. I gotta turn my fan on, and it's gonna make a lot of noise.
Die over there.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's good build with y'all, man, and adding on to the cipher, man.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.
So by the same token, you know what I'm saying? When they shoot somebody, you know what I mean? You gotta remember, there's no kneecaps and elbows on the chart that they practice shooting on. They don't practice shooting you in the kneecap. You know what I'm saying? That's an idea that I got from TV. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, they had a show on Gunsmoke.
Right, right.
And on Gunsmoke, Matt Dillon never shot first. Never see Matt Dillon shoot nobody in the back or from the side. Matt Dillon, first of all, Matt Dillon give you a whole day.
Right.
Matt Dillon give you a whole day. Yo, look, Holmes.
Right.
You got to tomorrow at 5:00, man, to be up out of here. I don't want to have to. But look, at 4:59, Matt Dillon's gonna be there to get at you. You know what I'm saying? Don't think he just saying that because he saw him. He try to get his heart up.
Right.
Matt Dillon will be there at 4:59. And listen, if you ain't already leaving, it's about to be a shootout. You understand what I'm saying?
Word.
You guys said just from Divine Energy. What's that, Delaware?
Yeah, DE.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And one thing about that is even once they got into the street to have the shootout, right, Matt Dillon always let the other dude shoot him first. Every week, Matt Dillon got to go see Doc get stitched up, because he let the other dude shoot him first. He give you a chance, like, all right, man, now listen, I told you what it is. And then the other dude would always shoot first, you know what I'm saying? Or it was another show I used to watch, Barnaby Jones.
Yeah,
You know
he was kind of.
And Barnaby Jones, he never shot nobody. He just shoot them in the hand. Like you can have your gun out and be shooting at him, but he'd be real cool. He just duck behind the car like this, pew, and shoot you in the hand. And you gotta drop the gun. You understand what I mean? So that was the kind of ideas that I had. You know what I mean? Or see like TJ Hooker even.
Right.
TJ Hooker, like, he'd pull out the gun and point it at you, right? But then he'd never shoot at you on the streets. He'd just chase you down.
Kind of like the 18.
Yeah. And see, these are the ideas, that I got about the police and how Colombo never shot nobody.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Colombo just catch you so red-handed, you just drop the gun. You just drop the weapon and get yourself up.
Yep.
Now, of course, you have Beretta. Beretta let that thing go off.
Oh, yeah, he let it ring.
But for the most part, but then, Beretta was like a private detective or something. He wasn't the real police.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying that these is the ideas that I got of the police.
Well, did you ever hear this? My brother was telling me, because he did a little history on Japan and stuff, right? And he said that in certain parts of Japan, you can't even be the law over there unless you from that neighborhood or area. Mm-hmm. They won't allow you to come from way across there and come over here and police. You got to be from over here to police. I said, that's peace. You know what I mean? Because that way these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know Brother George over there. He get drunk on a Saturday night. He might break a window out. We got to go calm him down. Instead of, oh, what is he doing? Pow. What's that all about?
Mm-hmm.
So if people from your area, that make more sense to me, because that would be people that you're more familiar with than just some Joe Blow riding up and down the street, cut his lights on, and give you a ticket and keep on moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it is,
Yeah, but good idea. This, these ideas that we got in the a lot of the ideas that we got, and then that's something that changed too. what I'm saying? Like even from wrestling, back in the days, it was easy to see who was on the good side and who was on the bad side. But you got some people now that's on the good side of wrestling that back in the days they would have been the bad guy. And I'm saying that type of that type of individual also exists in a lot of the image that they give you of cops now. You know what I'm saying? You know, this kind of idea and see this is what they're using. You know what I'm saying? That kind of idea that okay, this cop is really a bad guy. But for whatever reason, he's on our side. But he got all the same values, like he's ready to shoot it out. And we're happy to have him on our side because the bad guys are so bad. You understand what I'm saying? Which is the trap that brothers is falling into, you know what I'm saying, with some of the things that they doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some crazy things that happen. Like out here, I don't know if y'all heard about it everywhere. I don't know if this story went national. But it was a dude where, some type of, I don't really know how it goes, you know what I mean? But, we would never know in a situation like that. But somehow the dude was going with the dude's little sister, right? They broke up. The dude is some kind of setup where the dude is in the building, right? The ex-boyfriend walks in, he stabs him 3 times and sets him on fire. See, that's the type of thing that, this is what they use. When they at the trials and they gotta say, well, why does the person, why does the cop fear for his life? That also was the case with yeah, shout out to our ad, all the brothers down in DC. Somebody called me from down there. I gotta call them back today.
Yeah, I heard about the brother. I didn't know the brother, but I heard he was doing his thing.
Yeah, that also was a situation with Amadou Diallo.
Now I remember that.
Where they used the neighborhood against him. You understand what I'm saying? Where they said that, well,
wasn't he in Bed-Stuy or something? Or
nah, he was in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? But the situation was, they said, look, this neighborhood is so bad. It's, been so many things going on in this neighborhood that's why we was afraid. Even though, we can't prove nothing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of for him.
Right.
We can't prove nothing. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the neighborhood, we could say, well, yeah, it's this type of things going on in the neighborhood. So that's why we automatically afraid. But see, like I said, when you really do the knowledge to them, they've been afraid because of the images that they see on TV. And then, like I said, some things, look, you look at heavyweight boxing. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you look at heavyweight boxing.
Right.
Clearly you see the brothers, you see what the brothers do out there. You understand what I'm saying? Kelvin Vincent. What's the signs? Where you from, Kelvin? Welcome to the channel. But they see what's going on. They see what the brothers could do in that situation. So the same way, right, we grow up, right, and we see, athletes, right, as a big influence in the black community because, we see that as, yeah, we could do that because we brothers like them and we got the same athletic ability. They look at it and say, yeah, we don't have that athletic ability. So just as they growing up, like if you ask them some of the stereotypes that they have, that's a common thing, amongst pretty much all people,
Right.
that black people is just stronger somehow. Like if you put a black dude this size and a white dude this size together, the black dude is going to be stronger. He's going to be more vicious. You know what I'm saying? Especially once like we were saying yesterday, once you associate any type of drug use with it, you know what I'm saying? Like some of this stuff, you know, is like they say the dog whistles, you know,
Right.
yeah, sometimes see we not used to we don't hear on that frequency. That's what a dog whistle is. It blows on a certain frequency that is beyond 20,000 hertz. We hear between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, for instance, when they start saying, if you notice, that was what they kept trying to impress. Yo, George Floyd was on drugs. George Floyd was on drugs. George
He was
Floyd was
drunk.
on drugs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because this is it leads back to the early 1900s. You know what I'm saying? Where it's drug crazed Negroes, you know what I'm saying, that can't be the regular tactics don't matter to them. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Or like Dow Gates, well, we don't know what it is, but if you put a chokehold on a white man, apparently he just falls right out. But if you put a chokehold on a black man, they keep struggling and they die. We don't know what we
They don't know nothing.
yeah, we can't figure it out. We don't know. We put a chokehold on them and they struggle.
Yeah, you know everything, but don't know that.
You see, so
Yeah, God. But yo, I'm finna get up off here, man. I gotta get ready to jump in this truck, And
all right.
how long you gonna be on? You gonna be on a little bit longer?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a little bit longer. I got a ways to go.
I'm gonna follow you on when I jump in my truck.
All right, no doubt.
Peace.
So 793rd said that Patty Duke cat that used to work with Angie Martinez on High 97 got fired for being one of the Yusef Hawkins mob murderers. Yusef Hawkins mob members. See now, first of all, full disclosure, I haven't listened to Hot 97 in possibly the last time I really was listening to Hot 97. Fat Joe and Ashanti, they was making the hit records at that time. That's the last time I listened to Hot 97. So I'm not even sure who this Patty Duke guy is. But yeah, what is the science with that? I did hear that recently they made it's an HBO documentary or something of that nature that they spoke on that. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. But I mean, was he was just a member of the mob who was there, or he was one of the cats? Because I think it was 3 people that got convicted, or was it 2? So 2 days ago they had that on Vlad. So the dude Patty Duke has been on there since '94. I mean, well, yeah, in '94 I was listening to them, but I'm still not familiar with who Patty Duke is. I mean, when I did listen to High 97, I wasn't very likely to be listening to Angie Martinez. Not that I had nothing against her, but sure the dude Patty Duke, he was one of the 90 behind the scene dudes. Hmm. Oh, he was on with Scoop. Hmm. Yeah, I used to watch Scoop. Or I used to listen to Scoop. But yeah, I still can't picture who the Patty Duke dude is. Hmm. I was wondering about that too. Because when somebody was telling me what is the perspective of the what is the perspective of the of the documentary, the Yusuf Hawkins thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when they tell documentaries, they usually introduce you to a character, and then they kind of like, tell you the story kind of based on that person's point of view. You know what I'm saying? There's like some kind of central character that the thing is about. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it gives you the point of view of the person, you know what I'm saying, from their perspective, and sometimes it gives you the point of view of how people on the outside view that person. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times there's like a narrator, you know what I'm saying, that, this person is kind of leading you through the whole historical, aspect of what's going on. What was the perspective of that? All right, peace, peace. Did anybody on here see it? Because I was a little bit curious about that. Yeah, right. I don't rock with. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like a lot of things I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen the Central Park Five stuff. Um, I haven't seen the Wu Tang Netflix series. Um, you know, it's sometimes once is enough. Was it anything new that was presented in that documentary where uh I might look at it differently? Because I mean, it was one of those cut and dry things at the time. The Wu series. I mean, from what I heard about it, I'm not interested. Yeah, I haven't seen it. And plus, it's always going to be certain, uh, there's certain artistic license that has to be taken. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not even knocking. You know what I'm saying? You can't really fit, 20 years into a couple of episodes. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to tell the story of 20 years, it's going to take 20 years. But nobody saw the Yusef Hawkins thing. I guess not. Well, I guess this is a good point to segue into wisdom power and what wisdom power means. I'm pretty sure it's on HBO. The Yusef Hawkins jump off. No, 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 no. 120 is the history condensed down. But see, if we had to tell you what Muhammad did every day when he woke up, like we had to go through, Muhammad woke up, you know, he had to go to the bathroom to take a leak in the morning. Then he had a drink of water. Like if you got to go through all of that, yeah, that's going to take you his lifetime because you can do things faster than you can speak. Yeah, right. If you got to talk about the chipped tooth, you understand what I'm saying, and how many tears he cried, then uh, you know, then it's gonna take you that long. See, right now, the way it is, right, you can learn the 120 quick, but now it's going to take you a lifetime to deal with all the history and the science that's in there. You know, individually for you to break it down and it come to the understanding because you got to remember life is still occurring. So, when you're dealing with 120, even from that aspect, you know what I'm saying, that for you to tell it, you telling a story that's still not completely written. It's still being written every day. God, you saw the Yusef Hawkins thing. I just want to know whose perspective was it told from? You know what I mean? Like, was it told from a perspective uh, to make the perpetrators? Because it all depends. Sometimes it's there as a remembrance of the victim. You know what I'm saying? Or Yusef Hawkins in this case, and sometimes it's there to present a kinder, gentler view of the perpetrators. You know what I'm saying? To present some type of views where, like, maybe it didn't happen the way it came out in the paper or the way it came out in the court. You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out about it. I'm not really trying to figure out about it. That's what I'm asking. L7 said the USA is at war with itself. Um, that's interesting. I agree with it, but what particular aspect do you mean by that? Yeah, D Christian. Uh, yeah, right. Now, see, look, that's a good example right there that you use. Now, you can learn to quote that degree, right? About they wanted to go back home and cannot swim 9,000 miles, right? That takes, 3 seconds or so to say. But how long does it take you to swim 9,000 miles? See, there's a whole science to that y'all ain't really ready for. But, because Jaga was saying, in terms of being from New York, those was the last things that I recall in terms of being in the media about it was I think the dude's name was Fama, Fama, and the Italian dude, and something happened. He had a argument with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend said some new dude or something was coming around the block to the party to see her, and then Yusef Hawkins, he was there for a whole other purpose, but him and his friends attacked him, and just in general terms over the years, Yusef Hawkins, I don't really recall hearing a whole lot from his family. You know what I'm saying? I don't recall, like his family coming out and presenting, um, presenting a whole lot of, nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? What type of person he was, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm wondering if they still trying to soften up the image of the perpetrators. Khalil Allah's documentary. I don't recall. First of all, who's Khalil Allah? And Khalik Allah. All right, I know who Khalik is. And which documentary? Which documentary are you talking about? So Fly Phrase from the Providence Plantation said he saw 15 minutes of the Yusef Hawkins documentary. You see, even like that, when you say this the Yusef Hawkins documentary, is it, is Yusef Hawkins the most thing in it? Is it more about New York City and the mood that was going on in New York City? At the time. All right, Papa Wu and Azrael documentary. Did I see that? I think I saw that. All right, so it's from the perspective of the victim and those close to him, the ones he was with that night. It's the first time I've seen his family speak on that. Right. So Jaga recalls it the way I recall it, that, his family wasn't very vocal, you know what I'm saying? Especially, um, especially, the way things is right now. You know what I'm saying? Where, some families become almost, celebrities, depending on how much they willing to be in the, in the spotlight and be on TV, you know what I'm saying? And then, other families, for instance, you didn't really hear too much from even what's the brother's name? Nipsey Hussle's family, you know what I'm saying? D. Christian said Yusuf Hawkins incident had a major uproar back in the day. Remember Chuck Rock singing about him and treat him right. Never forget Yusuf Hawkins when you walk in. Yeah, I remember that. Uh, it wasn't just Yusuf Hawkins though. It was that for New York City, Jagai, you can tell me how you see this too, being that you from the same space and time. New York City was kind of having uh damn, how do you put this? Because I wouldn't say it was like the end of racism, but at that time, coming up really into until you really started getting hardcore gentrification, until you really started getting Giuliani doing certain things, up until the 80s, New York was still uh, very racially segregated. You know what I'm saying? Not so much on the, uh, the like the law, or you wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if necessarily had to do with redlining or anything, because even between white people, you know what I'm saying, between when you was in an Irish neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, to this day, if you go to Williamsburg, you in a Jewish neighborhood. There's still some neighborhoods that's that way, you know what I mean? To my knowledge, say Howard Beach is still that way. It's an Italian neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? And you was kind of having the last little, uh, racial incidents. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't so much in terms of, uh, they're gonna come into the black neighborhood and burn a cross. You know what I'm saying? But there was still little flashpoints where, especially amongst the young, you know what I'm saying, where, young colored people and young original people, right? Sheepshead Bay was another area. You know what I'm saying? That was, that was a solid Italian area. You see what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, Jaga, saying, well, you got to stay over there, we stay over here, and there won't be any problems, era. Yeah, that was just coming to an end. It was still, like, somebody brought up a Bronx Tale the other day. That area was having their last wars in the 80s. Like that's over there by St. Barnabas Hospital and all over there. you know, there's still right now to this day Italians over there. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, you got brothers and you know, well, brothers, you know what I'm saying, but just saying from, you know, you got brothers from over here and brothers that's coming from Puerto Rico and sisters, and they moving into these areas. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it wasn't just Yusef Hawkins. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you had the event in Crown Heights. You know what I'm saying? You had the Crown Heights riot. Um, a Jewish guy named Yankel Rosenbaum ran over a little black kid. You know what I'm saying? And a dude named Lenrick Nelson stabbed him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you had kind of both sides out. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, you had another situation with a brother that actually was 5% in Howard Beach. A brother got chased across the highway by a gang, and he got hit by a car and returned to Essence. You know, and at the time we didn't know it, but a brother told me that that was a brother named C Guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, there was a couple of other events that was going on. You know, even in terms of the city, the police, you still had that old school Irish, you know, police force. You know what I'm saying? Um, and all of that kind of was playing out around that same time. Philip Pinnell in Teaneck, New Jersey. Gunned down by police in front of grammar school. Yeah, I didn't, you know, at the time I wasn't really, you know, heavy into looking at the news. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, of course I'm not gonna miss, you know, things that became that big. I mean, these was like big riots and protests. You know what I'm saying? In the city being up in arms. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that kind of was just, you know, it was a time of uproar in general. You know what I'm saying? During that time. Yeah, Eleanor Bumpers. You know what I'm saying? That there was, you know, there was a lot of things happening, you know, even for us out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if how it seems to everybody else, but for us, even Larry Davis was another thing, you know, even though, you know what I'm saying, like to y'all probably just heard all the gangster part, but to New York, it was also about, you know, the police setting him up. You know what I'm saying? And the way they rolled on him, you know what I'm saying, when they tried to shoot him up, he's in the room. I'm not sure if it was one of them or two of them, but I know he had at least like one of his nieces or nephews was in the room with him. You know what I'm saying? And just the way they rolled and everything, the amount of, like, they rolled on Larry Davis, like you know, like they rolled on the riots. You know, like they rolled on. I'm saying when you know all these people was in the street for George Floyd, they came with cops like that, man. But that he survived it and actually came out of it. You know what I'm saying? On top. That's what might lead a lot of other people to just look at the gangster part, that yo, he went out like that, but to New York, listen, even old people was on Larry Davis' side. Like everybody wanted Larry Davis to get away. Oh yeah, Larry Davis. Yeah, that was they did Larry Davis dirty. Um, but yeah, he ended up returning to the essence, man. Definitely shout out to Larry Davis. He was he was like a hero. Asiatic Mathematics said his pops is Aztec. Even that too. That's another thing. I spoke on it earlier, but I didn't bring it up when I was talking about the mood of the whole city. But the Central Park Five. That was another thing that occurred. That it was like New York was at that point. New York was just at that point where it was like, look, if something happened, we kind of chose sides. But you said your pop is an Aztec, and it's funny because the brother sent me some stuff about all this Aboriginal black people stuff. I really don't pay that stuff no mind. In this day and time, right? Uh, who is he? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, the Aztecs being, an ancient tribe, right? And they from a certain geographical location or whatever. They not in that location no more. You understand what I mean? They don't. They're not in control of that same part of the land. So I'm saying, where did he migrate to, or where did your lineage migrate to, where he met your mom at? Yeah, you put all of them together, Queen Mecca. You got the Aztecs, the Mayans, and the Olmecs together. I'm not sure they are the same people. Jam says Afro-Asiatic, also known as Afrasian, and in older sources as Hamido-Semitic or Semito-Hamitic, is a large language family of about 300 languages that are spoken predominantly in West Asia, North Africa, the Horn of Africa, and parts of the Sahel. I mean, So the Mexicans with indigenous ancestry are the Aztecs. So the Aztecs, because the Mayans was in Central America, right? Am I correct? You know, some Hebrew people was talking God Cyber Divine. Some biblical stuff came up. I just said I need God Cyber Divine right now. I can't even recall what it was, but they was talking. I was like, yeah, see, I was if God Cyber Divine was here, he could break all this down. I think they was talking about some people that I can't recall if they was saying that they was Jews, and I was wondering like, okay, now, and that's the definition that they just said. Are they talking about Jews or Hebrews? But you said the Aztecs are the people who they are now, meaning the tribes of Israel. And which tribe would that be? Yeah, knowledge born, you're right. In terms of a lot of those events that I was talking about that happened in New York at that time, like I think Yusuf Hawkins was 16. Um, the brother that got chased across the highway, he wasn't I can't recall, but I would say he was a teenager. Larry Davis was very early 20s. So yeah, definitely the Central Park Five was clearly all kids, you know what I'm saying? Right. That's a good example Queen Medina brings up. That's one of the themes that you seen in not Fight the Power. The movie was Do the Right Thing. But when you seen kind of the the sentiments that was in Do the Right Thing, yeah, New York was that was, at least on some level, that was representative of what was really going on. So let me get this straight. Uh, only Judah. What would you say now? Only Judah and who? David and Judah is Jews, and everybody else is Hebrews, right? What's this you say here? Asiatic said, if I'm not mistaken, Olmec, Toltec, Mayan, Aztec are the same, just changed a little over time. Um, I'm not very familiar with the Toltecs. The Olmecs, uh, at least their art seems representative of knowledge seeds. And I know the Olmecs to be Mexican. The Mayans, I recall being more Central American. The Aztecs, I do think is Mexican. But uh, historically, and I'm not saying that that's what happened to everybody, but a lot of these people became the Plains Indians. You see, if you notice, whenever they telling you about the history of Europeans coming over here, when they first touch down on the coast, everybody's friendly. But then when they get to the plains, it's all war Indians. And one of the reasons for that is because by the time they got to the plains, all of those was Indians that they had pushed away from the coast. So whereas they was friendly when they first met them on the coast, by the time they made it out to the plains, they knew what time it was. Like they know it's time for smoke. We know what these dudes want. But you know, the Indian that they show you in the movies with the cowboys and the Indians, you know what I'm saying? You know, they don't show you, you know, in the John Wayne movie, for instance, you know what I'm saying? How many times do they show you the Indians that stopped you from starving? You know, the Indians that Thanksgiving is supposed to be about. You know, it's always the Indians. They're on the warpath. But that, you know, that's just one track right there. That doesn't mean that that's what happened to everybody. Queen Medina said Webster Ave. Why'd you bring up Webster Ave? 793rd said Philip Pinnell was in his teens or 20. Carmen Longley said his grandfather used to tell him that the Native Americans were exiled from India also, and he's saying his grandfather never had lessons. So what was his he said they got exiled because they were meat eaters. And did he give any dates for it? Or, you know, it was just that part of the story? Maya is the illusory power that makes the unreal seem real and vice versa. Y'all saying this is the origin of the names of the Mayans? Y'all got Queen Mecca going in today, man. I don't know. Somebody must have gave Queen Mecca some coffee. Webster Avenue. I mean, yeah, Webster Avenue. They got their share, but I mean, you know, uptown. That's pretty much the case all over. You know, downtown too. But did he have any other history on that though, Calm Islamly? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? But that's something about the gentrification. Y'all made me think about that. The gentrification in New York. That's one thing that if you find somebody that's from New York, right, that was around in the 80s, they'll tell you that, listen, with this gentrification, that all these colored people that's moving into our neighborhoods now, they not from New York. Like, if you from New York, you're not moving into one of them areas. Like, you ain't never going to see me moving into Bensonhurst. You ain't never going to see me moving to Howard Beach. I don't care how much gentrification. Y'all can elect 59 Obamas in a row. Not moving over there. If you see a brother resting over there, he just got to New York. So he said the native Indians and the gypsies of Europe were two groups who were kicked out of India for going overboard with their practices. And he said the Mayans and the Aztecs were descended from Vishwakarma, who is the god of architecture in Hinduism. That's why they were great builders. And he never said where he got that knowledge. What happened to God Cypher Divine? I had another question for God Cypher Divine. Besides, I had just a question about the Bible and the Hebrew history. Somebody tell God Cypher Divine to get back on, because how the hardest working man in Jamaica, Queens. So that was just stuff that was passed down from the elders. So, question. How did they know where their people ended up at? Yeah, right. Yeah, you see some colored people living in Brownsville. They not from New York. Okay, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna was originally blue black. From my understanding, Krishna means beautiful black lord? That's another funny story. You know, the first person that told me that um, was a Harry Krishna, and he was trying to sell me the book. And at the time, you know, that I was, I guess, trying to get him to leave me alone. So I'm telling him that, you know, the black man is God, and he says that. Well, yeah, Krishna means beautiful black lord. All right, so Carmen Islamly said in India was passed down orally as more authoritative than stuff that's written down. Yeah, you know, I would wonder because it appears to be, um, you know, more migration from India than, you know, I really haven't researched that, you know what I mean? But when you look at the countries, uh, uh, you know, like the Indonesias and you know, a lot of the other countries that's in Southeast Asia, um, you know, they're a lot more Indian than Chinese. Singapore and all those types of places. So I would just, you know, like, do they have stories of, you know, which or how those people migrated and how they ended up there and who they related to back in India? God Cyber Divine said, Krishna is the progenitor of Christ that goes into the knowledge of the 16 crucified saviors somebody mentioned before. What you mean the progenitor of Christ? But God Cyber Divine, the question I wanted to ask you is about Judah. Judah changes his name at some point to Shezbez in the Bible. Shezbez. Is that correct? And who are these 16 crucified saviors? Right. The further you go east from India, I mean, India and China's the Orient. They are Oriental. But you could just see that some of them is more related to Indians than related to Italians. Um, a Bronx Tale. Yeah, you know what it is. Um, in my mind, I don't really associate Webster with that area. But yeah, over there, Arthur Avenue, where I'm talking about is closer by Third Avenue. Like, don't get me wrong, what they talking about is sometimes back in the 50s or 60s. But I'm saying in the 80s, around Third Avenue over there, 183rd, 84th, going up towards, not quite Fordham Road, but going up in that area over there. Yeah, that still was going on in the 80s. But where's God's Cipher Divine? In fact, let me see if God's Cipher Divine comes in so we can ask him about Shezbez and about this Aztec thing too. Which tribe would the Aztecs be? This is always one of the more peculiar things. Not peculiar, but I guess you would say unique things to the Hebrew Israelites when you see them with those charts, of each tribe and who they supposed to be today. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was the only tribes left after, say, God banished the rest of the 9 tribes. So Judah, Benjamin, and Levi are the Jews, you saying? Yeah, click click the link. Click the link, God Cypher Divine. So you can tell me about these crucified saviors and enlighten us. Trump developers bought Starray City? When? So the 16 crucified saviors is apparently Thulis of Egypt, Krishna of India, Crite of Chaldea, Attis of Phrygia, Tammuz or Tammuz of Syria, Jesus or Eros, Bali of Orissa, Indra of Tibet, Iao from Nepal, Buddha Sakya of India, Mithra of Persia, Alcestos of Euripides, Quetzalcoatl of Mexico, Witoba of Belingonese, Prometheus or Aeschylus of Caucasus, Quirinus of Rome. And then apparently over here you have this other extremely long list. Yeah, no, I mean, wasn't very familiar with this. So Queen Medina put here, East New York in crisis as city officials sell New York City Housing Authority housing to questionable private developers, which may lead to high-speed gentrification and displacement of residents. But I'm saying, Starray City is not. Starray City is housing. I don't think Starray City is housing. True Self said the Aztecs are the Nahua and are just one of nearly 60 indigenous peoples living in Mexico. He Kareem, the original Mythbuster. Yeah, we got He Kareem now for the 16 crucified saviors. Carmen's Lonely said the Zeitgeist documentary from back in the day goes into the 16 crucified savior signs. I remember seeing Zeitgeist. I don't recall. I must have skipped right out on that. But Starrate is a little area where, they right there by the highway, you know what I'm saying, as far as just as far as them driving, but I don't know if they ready to take the train yet to Pennsylvania Avenue. They gotta take that. They gotta go to They got to go to Livonia. I don't know if they're ready for Livonia. Oh, this is the person I think I'm talking about here. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. God Cyber Divine, you still there? Look, who's this? Starret City? Now, Starret City uh is not housing. Now, over there, oh, you know what I did here though? You might be talking about Boulevard. I did hear that they bought, I think, Boulevard in Linden. Yo, God Cyber Divine. Who's this guy right here that I put the name right here? Shes Bazaar. Kareem said that's someone's son. I don't know exactly who though. Yeah, I could have told you that. He I could have told you that. Nah, but when she talking about over there by the Galaxy Inn, that's Linden. Like Linden and Boulevard, I did hear. Um, I did hear they was bought out, and I heard they was trying to get. I heard they was trying to get Cypress too. True Self said, according to Google, Sheshbazzar means joy in tribulation. He was a prince of Judah. He Kareem said reference the book of Genesis. Um, once I heard, I knew that this Sheshbazzar was, he has some kind of connection with Judah. Oh yeah, this I gotta have 1,000 subscribers for you to put links. I'm getting up there. I think I got like 870 now. Be Infinite says Sheshbazzar is mentioned in the Bible only 4 times. He was a leading Babylonian Jew who found favor with Cyrus the Great, king of Persia, in the first year of his reign. It says, in the beginning of the return to Zion of the Babylonian return. Return to Zion, where's that? But see, just, this kind of connection with Judah, once I heard about a possible connection with the name Shabazz, as in tribe of Shabazz. So I wanted to know from the resident biblical scholar if he heard anything about that. Yeah, everybody knows about the galaxy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to Google that, Queen Medina. That would be a big step right there. But you said Shabazz is Falcon. Yeah, drop the AR and you have Sheshbazzar. Oh, in Persian, Shabazz means falcon. Hmm. But returning to Zion, does that mean Jerusalem? Does it mean Ethiopia? Depending on which Jews you speak to, all of these different things. This history was lived out in different places. I guess we probably gotta wait for tomorrow to when and catch God Cyber Divine when he got a little more time. You know, um, because you got what's in the Bible, and then um, you got other histories and traditions or whatever that may not be mentioned in that book. Amongst those lessons. So I just wanted to see if he knew anything about that. Other than that, we had a good live today. You know what I'm saying? The brother came through, and got some help, what I mean, about getting back on track with his studies. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the new rule. Everyone who's in here, don't forget the new rule that you need to be within 5 degrees. You need to be at least 5 degrees. You need to be within 5 degrees of the degree you asking me about. Like, don't be asking me about the wisdom build degree and you only wanted 36. See, you turn this into religion that way. So God Cypher Divine says Sheshbazzar was a prince of Judah. Born you truth, was it his bloodline? Just like the Hyksos dynasty in Egypt were not real Egyptians, just historically cited as such. I mean, that's my question. See, when you mention the thing about the tribes, you know what I'm saying, and tracing all the tribes and everything, it just reminded me that was something that was something that I heard before. So I wanted to see if you had any knowledge on it. Abi Infinite says Cyrus issued a proclamation to rebuild the house of the Lord in Jerusalem in 538 BC. Cyrus appointed Sheshbazzar to lead an expedition of the first group of Israelites to return to Jerusalem from Babylon. He also entrusted Sheshbazzar with the task of returning the gold and silver vessels taken from the temple by Nebuchadnezzar during, I guess it went out of sequence. They're already moving people out. Now I heard that they have bought lending. Somebody from over there told me that. And so you saying that Cyrus was also another name for Christ. Interesting. So, like I said, tomorrow we can get back into that. We had a nice live here. We really didn't get into the science of wisdom power. Mostly, when you deal with the science, man, of making yourself born as God. You understand what I'm saying? How do you do that? We know that wisdom is the way you make yourself known. But just a reminder that the way we have the wisdom and power right now, it's got to be tangible. See, our words is not always tangible, especially to those who don't understand them. You know what I mean? That may not even have knowledge. A person could tell you the whole truth in the Russian language, and if you don't speak the Russian language, it doesn't mean anything to you. It's not tangible. But if that person goes through the demonstration, you understand what I mean? Then that's going to be tangible in every language. You know what I'm saying? If you thirsty in the desert, and I don't have to speak your language, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I got to speak the language of, humans or whatever to be able to see, language of people to be able to see that you thirsty or whatever. But if I give you a drink while you thirsty in the desert, it doesn't matter what language I'm speaking or what language you speaking. At that time, we speaking the same language. So, we got to make sure, I'm going to keep emphasizing that on everybody, is that you got to pick some youth right now and build with them. You've got to pick some youth right now and save them from, just the death, hell, and destruction that's going on out there in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? We can't just be concerned after the fact. That's the, one of the main, the projects right there. Yeah, I heard about that. But, that's one of the main things that, is going to count in this day and time, is that when, it's demonstrated that Black Lives Matter before the fact. Like whatever is the solutions, people got to get out there and be just as strong in the streets as they be after a tragedy. Because just reacting to the tragedy, that's not going to bring about no change. You know what I'm saying? And that's in anything you deal with. If you just react to your health after you have a stroke or a heart attack, that's not going to really bring about no change. You might don't even make it through that to make a change. So let's keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Whether they people in your family, whether they, nieces, nephews, people from the block, or even look, our own kids. Sometimes you be in a rat race. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like God Cyber Divine, he's out there being the hardest working man in South Jamaica, Queens. You understand? And, not saying him in particular, but any individual. You see what I'm saying? And we walking past these, children and not saying nothing, until something ends up happening to them, or they end up being, becoming a person that, you afraid they're going to do something to you or somebody that you love. You see what I'm saying? But then at that point, it's too late. So right now, we got to, write our history. Not just predict it, but write it. You know what I'm saying? And live it out by taking the time. Just like I said, we lost a brother I had, and I told people that, look, a lot of times, don't just pass a brother by. You know what I'm saying? These older brothers, don't just let them take the truth to the grave with them. And by the same token, don't send these babies to the grave by not giving them the knowledge, man, that they need to survive. You know what I'm saying? And the wisdom just to survive, man. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not, all the way of, them internalizing supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet, they got to be uplifted from the lowest common denominator. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening right now, is that, brothers and sisters is only interacting with each other based on the lowest common denominator. You know what I'm saying? And we dealing with a race to the bottom in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, when somebody say this thing is going wrong or that thing is going wrong, then you want to point out that something else is going even more wrong, or something else is went wrong before that. No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. So you learn that in elementary school. When you get in trouble for talking, and then you say, I was the only one talking, and the teacher say, yeah, well, you the one that got caught. You the one that's getting sent to the office. How about that? So just keep that in mind and know that I'm going to remain on your backs. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to remain on your backs, man, to, have some young men that you uplifting. You know what I'm saying? And, the only way to do that is for you to keep yourself uplifted, for you to remain on point. You know what I'm saying? So you can actually know what you're teaching and know how to apply what you're teaching. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're going out there, it's not going to be necessary. You ain't going to be breaking down these lessons. Not in that form. Like y'all come in here and ask me a question about what it means, these words in the wisdom build degree. Yeah, you're going to apply that because you're going to be taking the pins, out of their heads. You're going to be saving all the babies. You're not going to be picking and choosing between which ones is the black and which ones is the brown. And you ain't going to be making the white. We know that we're going to apply this, but you're not going to just go up to a group of kids and just quote the wisdom build degree and think that's going to save their life. Then you're just being religious. But, all that above is caused by the sin of man, and we can't have it both ways. So stay on your game. Black man and black woman. In the meantime, though, if you made it this far in the live, do the each one teach one, click the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you want to be up on the lives, hit the notification button. And this, I see a side rally has developed with God Cypher Divine and I'll be infinite about the Shes Bassar individual. So I guess, we're going to get back into that tomorrow. In the meantime, on Thursday, of course, Sunya is coming on. I'm not coming on. But tomorrow, I should be on. And, like I said, peace to all the people that just come in and do the knowledge and observe in the background, because that's also very important, to be a wise person and exercise your power sometimes by not saying nothing and not doing nothing. Sometimes that's the wisest move. Wisdom is also knowing when not to speak. Is knowing when not to do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, for the parents in here, if your child falls down, you know what I'm saying? Wisdom tells us, as a parent, that, okay, let him get up by himself. Because if you go over there, then you're going to change the way that cipher develops. If you let them get up on their own, then they'll be fine. But if you go over there and get them, then they're going to react totally different to it. You see what I mean? Because they begin to react off of your emotions, and your feelings. But in the meantime, peace to everyone, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, Elton, next to Gateway. Yeah, Boulevard and Linden. Peace.